FotoMedien, coming to you live from Germany.
Yes, we're live with you from Germany. Now, I have a returning guest, and now this gentleman came on the show last time from Belgium, of all places, and he's a managing director of a company that really is becoming extremely busy at the moment with lockdown and businesses. Without further ado, I'm going to bring you across and introduce you or reintroduce you to Mr. Anthony Garrett, who is the Managing Director of Garrett Security and Risk Consultancy Limited, and he's based in London. So where are you today, Mr. Garrett, Anthony?
I'm still in London, but
You're in London.
Croydon at the minute.
Okay. What are you doing in Croydon? Is that your home business place, or?
No, well, it's my sort of routine work at the minute. I'm heading up or managing a COVID testing site for the council or the borough of Croydon in support of the NHS.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's very good of you. So they're bringing in business owners as well to help out because of lack of staff and things like that?
Yes. It's, a lot of it has gone out to tender to facilitate the testing sites because of the demand. And now certain boroughs are taking up the initiative to ensure the safety of their communities.
That's not a bad idea from the UK, actually. I don't think they're doing that here, to be honest, yet in Germany. Right. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that side of your work. For the viewers, can you sort of tell us a little bit about what being the managing director of Garrett Security and Risk Consultancy is? What does your sort of job entail?
Well, it's really advising business organisations, management on any concerns they have or issues they come across with risk and security, whether that be through projects, physical risk, or indeed virtual risk like cyber or information systems.
Okay, and it's you say we spoke on via email. You say the business itself is becoming more and more required at the moment with lockdown. Is that correct? Is that how it's happening?
Yes, there are certain threats that have emerged because of the coronavirus itself. It opens effectively a door or an opportunity that can be exploited for many criminals and indeed like cyber terrorists, especially when protection to certain sites or indeed organizations' information is effectively lied to or weakened because they've transitioned to, say, remote working environments, or they've had to adapt, or they don't have as many staff present, including the security force itself.
So is that where your business comes into it? You're offering them advice on how to manage continuity in as they do remote working. Is that what you're saying? I mean, the thing I've noticed is I won't say who, but a family member works for a big company, and they have not changed their security. So the people are working from home, and they've not changed their security level. So probably one security guard bimbling around at night. Is that where your company comes into it to sort of explain the risks and what?
To highlight the vulnerabilities maybe that they have not seen, because their focus is obviously generally on driving that business forward, profits. Because that's what counts initially, but to ensure that you don't come to harm, whether that be reputation, monetary, or indeed to any persons, yourself or anyone you employ, you need to look at your security.
Yeah. Cool. In regards to that, do you have any sort of outside agencies that are enrolled or embedded with you in regards to your business?
Well, we're a consultancy, but what I tend to do is use the wide network of professionals, and then we will draw people in specifically to each individual, agreement that is then has a specific focus and a measure of the value we can return. And that is in a collaborative meeting where we fact find, gather the information as to what outcomes can be achieved, what the desire is from that management or organization, and then we put the people that are in the know, bring them into the frame to help us.
Yeah, I've just thought that's probably a stupid question by me because it's got to be done on a case by case basis, depending on
very
what.
tailored.
Yeah. Is there any areas this year? Is there any areas this year where you're looking to expand on in regards to your business? Is there anything that's really you've got a niche where you can go? This is my unique selling point. This is what we're pushing out.
Well, we have a host of services, but the ones that are most apparent at the minute, because of the situation we find ourselves in with the pandemic and those consequential maybe risks and threats we face, is one, the information security.
Right.
That's be personal and business, because data is valuable, and if you don't protect it, can be used either to gain money or information that shouldn't be of public privy, or competitively, someone else can take it for their own use.
Yeah, as you know, last time we spoke, I think I overruled the entire interview because I'm very interested in sort of IT and ICT security and cyber security, but I promise I won't do it this time. What would you say? How do you measure within your business, within your organisation? How do you measure success? What would you say is your way to know that your job has been done well?
Well, we go through a certain phase. So what we do is we engage first of all with the client or the person inquiring, and then we go through a fact-finding sort of initial consultation to find out what the desired outcomes are, what they see the issues as, or how, and then I match that across to what we can bring to them to offer improvement and to overcome the issue. Now, we're not there to sell them different services privately. We'll just advise the best courses of actions and lay out their options and as the reasons to why and what they should change to overcome these issues.
So I suppose really then your success is walking away from that business or having something in place where there's no situations where they've failed and lost things to cybersecurity, lost financial problems due to failures. So you're protecting the business. So your success is basically a business that then is running smoothly. Is that?
Yes, it's very hard to gauge the threat or the risk or the attack that did not succeed. But if you are continuing in business or your organization still operates, then that is a success on its own.
Cool.
Because you have that presence, you have that deterrence, and you probably have or should have that protection afforded to you by taking the right measures and having the right plans in place. What we see as our achievement is walking away with the agreement intact, continual business sort of relationship with that person to continue along the line, and they're happy to keep on improving, learning as the trends and the risks and the threats change in time.
Yeah.
But also is we tend to, once we do the fact finding, because it is very unique to every organization and to independent risks at any time, it does change. It's then we will identify the values we can bring, and there will be specific measures we can put that against, so they will know what they have gained.
Do businesses need to be prepared to accept change? Do you find that difficult when you're having your initial meeting? Obviously, that could also result in a financial investment by the company to make those changes, or are most of your changes simply a case of altering the structure of how they do things at the moment? Do you think it costs the company a lot of money usually to instigate changes?
Not always, no. But change is a challenge, and usually people associate change with expense.
Yeah.
However, some do, and sometimes you have to invest for your future, where it does come at cost, and that's cost-benefit analysis, where we show against what we can improve in time and what it saves over time. But then that you are making that initial investment to no great return instantly. But it's not always an instant return to any great success.
Okay.
Definitely, I think that if we go along that route, then you should look at the long term, put plans in place.
Yeah, there must. I mean, I suppose you can use examples there of businesses that haven't had the risk assessment, haven't had the security put in place, and have lost everything. So whether you pay out a little bit or lose everything is quite a serious.
Well, what we try to do is work collaboratively. So we work as a team with the management of the organisation. So we make the changes not only as a security perspective, but
Yeah.
also to make the best of their critical business lines, how they operate. So obviously they must meet together. And obviously their priority in business is to keep having business.
Thank you. Very interesting and a very sensible perspective to be honest. How is your own business structured without sort of giving? I mean, what I don't want to have on this interview is you telling somebody how to do everything and then they don't need you.
No.
So how you've I think you sort of covered it really. You bring in is it conglomerate? Is that the right word? You bring in outside things, outside sources or outside agencies where needed. Is your business itself a small
Yes,
business?
essentially we are a consultancy, so we will be taken on for a specific maybe task, project, or to an agreement, and we then have the responsibility to deliver what we propose. So how we
Right.
do that sometimes is to bring in specialists, as one person cannot be a master of all in security and risk, but certainly can have the fundamentals. And we use the wide network of professionals this consultancy has to bring in the best people to each and every project we take on.
Which is modern business nowadays. I was reading nowadays that there's people in London who are actually running businesses from restaurants, cafes.
Yeah,
It's the way
remote
ahead.
working is
Yeah,
a new trend.
yeah, and as you've already explained, that comes with a massive risk. Right, are there? My final question really for you, and I'll offer the board over to you so we swap places. So if you've got anything you want to sort of ask me or have a think about it. My last question to you really, are there any particular types of business that often do not really realise the risks and they fall foul to them? What we're talking about, are there any sort of, can you categorise any businesses that don't think that this is a risk and don't
Yeah, I see this at the both ends. Sometimes the small and developing and the medium-sized businesses do not feel they are big enough to have a security plan or to put their initiatives in there and drive it because they don't think they are such a target to such criminals. Where to be not, if you think on the criminal's perspective, if they hit 10 medium-sized businesses and they're successful, rather than trying to defeat one very well protected organization, they're going to be a lot better off.
Yeah, and you mentioned as well on our previous interview that's not just attacking them financially through cyber, that's also attacking them physically when they're not maintaining security on buildings while they're working remotely.
So yes, as the sort of the presence in the offices and organisations has dwindled because of the government restrictions because of the coronavirus, there's obviously light and security. This brings up an exposed opportunity for people to exploit different sites, facilities, and assets in a weakened state. So if they've done their reconnaissance and done their information on this site, that some could be overwhelmed, and they could succeed very easily.
To your customer base or viewers of the show, is there anything I've missed that you'd like to say at to finish off the show?
I think I'd just like the viewers out there to take a look at what we can do. Go for the free consultation that we offer. Pick up the phone or book a communication with us. Share your issues, and we'll propose the changes, improvements we can make. You'll be, I think, impressed, and you'll see them realised.
Cool. Did you say free consultation there?
Yeah, what we offer is a free consultation. So the fact finding, the initial communication, we offer free. We don't charge on it. all I want to do is find information, find what the inquiry is about, and they can together push in the right direction.
Smashing. Thank you very much, Anthony. Much appreciated, and we will see you again on the show in the future, I'm sure. Okay then, a huge thank you to Mr. Anthony Garrett there for joining the show during his busy time at running a corona testing centre. Now, he mentioned offline there that if you've got any questions for him regarding what his business can do for you, his website link will be in the description below. Additionally to that, I will also put my email address underneath. If you want to be part of the show, be part of Chat FM. If you've got anything you want to get out there, announce, whether that's your business, your charity, or your event that's coming up, then I will consider it if you drop me an email. And apart from that, I wish you all the best. Please stay safe, and we'll see you again, maybe as an interviewee. How's that? All right, take care and stay safe, and all the best from FotoMedien here in Germany.